Okay, all good. Okay, perfect. So, hi guys. I don't know what is this. Hi guys, Jonathan here, as usual, on my channel at least. And today we're talking about something that probably most of you don't know. And it's something related to my life, to my work life in particular. I worked in the past in an actual movie. So for actual movie, I mean something that came out to the movie theater in Italy, in that case, because before living in Portugal, I used to live in Italy because I'm Italian, and I lived in Italy for like 24 years. Then I moved to Portugal in 2020. Just a little recap for those of you who are new to this channel. When I was living in Italy, when I was studying at university, because I went to university in Padua, I studied visual arts. I got a degree in cinema history, critics of cinema history, something like that. So yeah, I'm a kind of a movie critic myself, you know. Even if it's not my job, it's the degree that I got at university. So I was studying cinema in general, visual arts and stuff related to this. And then at one point, you know, when you go to university, sometimes you have to do like extra curricular activities like laboratories, this kind of stuff. And I was helping a professor with this sort of laboratory. Basically, she had like a blog for university that was related to I don't know, artistic things, events, venues in the city of Padua. And I helped this professor of mine for this like semester curating this blog, I don't know, finding news about events and then updating this blog and this kind of stuff. So I was helping on this side, and it was something like slightly related to movies also. And then at one point I went to to one of those events that was during one weekend in Padua, and was basically was helping some people from the university on the little desk that we had, because it was this event was in the center of the city. And I was helping them like to introduce some like projects from the university to the people who were passing by, were like stopping by out of curiosity, this kind of stuff. So yeah, it was all like a sort of laboratory activity that was that was necessary for me to get the degree in the end. During this event, because usually these things like for example working in a movie happen like by chance or like in a very random way, I met this lady, and it was like another professor that was a friend of this professor of mine. And I mean, I want to include that like in this little story, that this particular event was not exactly part of the laboratory that I was following in order to get the like credits and go on with university and stuff. So it was something extra that I was doing because I wanted to help, basically. Because I was free that weekend, and I just like wanted to help this professor and this kind of stuff. So it was very, very random that I was in this event, basically. And so I met this lady that I was telling like before. And we started to talk, and basically she was also involved in like artistic events, in shows, this kind of things, museums, you know. And at one point she told me, after like talking a bit, and also, I mean, helped by the fact that these two professors were like friends, and I was helping out, and it was something extra from me, you know. Basically we started talking, and I was talking about my passion for cinema, the fact that I wanted to be like a director. In that moment of my life I wanted to be a director. Now things are a bit different, but we're getting there. And so basically, I was talking about my passion for cinema, this kind of stuff, and she told me that there was like a production from Rome, like a kind of big production that was going to shoot in Veneto, so in different cities, but always in my region. And they were searching for like an assistant director, like a third assistant director, that was my role in the end, to help them to shoot stuff, and basically the role of an assistant director is helping people on the set doing their job. So basically like calling the actors and giving everyone their the papers, the documents, basically with the hours and yeah, like the schedule that was to be followed during the day, all this kind of stuff, and then helping the second assistant director that helped the original assistant director that helped the director. So it was like this kind of system in general. And just to give you like an introduction to this role, basically what happened is that I was like I saw this as like a big opportunity for me to do something important and something like remarkable in the movie industry, and I wanted so bad to work in that industry. So I was like, this is my moment, this is the chance that I have to use, basically that I have to take advantage of. And so I asked this lady, this person, to put me in contact with the people who were searching for a third assistant director in my region, and got in contact with them. We did a couple like interviews because it was like a stage, like an internship. This thing lasted like 3 weeks, almost a month. And so basically after some interviews they told me that I was accepted, and then we started filming. Basically we started with the set. So for those of you who are curious about the movie is called Mamma e Papà, Mamma Papà, and that is basically Mom or Dad in Italian. It's a movie by an Italian director that is called Riccardo Milani, with some famous Italian actors like Paola Cortellesi and Antonio Albanese and other like good actors that are known in the Italian movie industry. And that's why, this is the reason why I am on IMDb, you know, the app, the website. And this is a little flex of me, like being on IMDb only for this movie, but I mean for now it's like this. And this thing I didn't mention that happened in 2017, no, probably it was 2016. Okay, it happened in 2016 or 2017, so I was like 21 years old, and it was like 7 years ago, something like that. So yeah, some time already passed, you know. So basically we started filming. I got to know all the people who were working on the project, the director of photography, the people who were working with the lights, the electricians, the makeup artists, all these roles, and then all of the actors, and then we started. And from the beginning, I mean, I noticed that everything was like rushing, that we had this kind of we were doing everything in a very fast way, because as I said before, I mean, it's called the movie industry for a reason, and this is only like an example of the Italian movie industry. So I don't even want to imagine what it's like in the, I don't know, in the American movie industry, in the British movie industry, the movie industries that are more developed, like in comparison with the Italian one. And so yes, I noticed from the beginning that everything was moving very, very fast, and I was not expecting this. I mean, because I was studying at university, I was studying the classics, I was starting to film things myself, to get interested in photography as well. And I mean, I was only concentrating on the artistic side of the process. I was not considering the fact that there are like a lot of people involved, people are getting paid, people have like families, there are costs, and especially the fact that it's an industry, you know, as I was saying before. So from the beginning I noticed this, and then in general the experience was quite good. I mean, it's normal in an environment with a lot of people, you can't get along with everyone, but at the same time I happened to find good people who were willing to help me, because it was my first experience on a set. So the people who were like directly working with me, the other assistant directors, were very helpful and taught me like a lot of stuff. So yeah, that was really important to me, because it was my first experience. So I was I needed this kind of information, of course, in order to work. And then we shot 1 week in one city, and then another week in another one, then the third week in another one. You know, so yeah, we changed the sets, so we had to get used, of course, to the fact that we were like in different places. So if there were like things to be done, we had to be prepared. We had to know like where to go to grab these things or those things. You know, it was a bit it was a bit tough to manage like large groups of people, being myself like 20 years old, 21, I don't exactly remember, but it was challenging for me at first. Then like all things, you get used to what you're doing after some time, so it was something like doable in the end. But it was a bit tricky, you know, because there are a lot of things involved, like the fact that you know that you're doing something important, and especially for me, this was supposed to be like my first appearance in a movie, and actually it was, but the first of many in my head, because I was like, okay, this will be my occasion, you know, to show my value, to show what I'm capable of in general. So it was like an important thing to me, and as I said before, there were a lot of things like the whole the pace of the things that were happening. Everything was moving very fast. You had to know everything from zero, you know, from scratch, to figure out like ideas. I had to use a lot of problem solving skills that I was still like developing, because there were always like new problems on the set, because it's normal. You're involving a lot of people, it's what happens. So it was like a pretty formative experience, and as I was saying, you can't get along with anyone in a place like this. So I started to notice things like people who were not getting along with other people, and being one of my tasks, like to manage people, I was always like trying to make sure that two people who didn't get along well were not in the same place, or distracting other people, or taking like actors from one place to another, or like problems related to food, for example, when it was time to eat. So all this kind of stuff, you know, but it's nothing special, nothing crazy, just like normal things that I imagine that happen on movie sets when actors, famous or less famous actors, are involved, and the dynamics are like this basically. So in the end, we finished shooting this part of this film that was set in my region, and as I said before, it was like an internship. So a good thing about this is that apart from having my page on IMDb, is that I used this activity as an extra laboratory for university, so I didn't have to do like other things in order to get my degree, and it was good for this reason. Then I had an experience in the movie industry. That was something that was really interesting to me in that moment, and it's all good. It's all like an experience. Then I met good people who helped me a lot, as I said before, and it was all good in general. But at the same time, the thing that changed my mind, helped me change my mind a bit, is that as I said before, I was in that moment of my life, I was only focusing on the artistic side of what I was studying. I was falling in love with the classics, with all the famous directors and their famous movies and all this kind of stuff. And I found myself in a sort of dynamic, a sort of mechanism that is the movie industry, that scared me a bit, because I was noticing some similarities, some patterns that were common to this industry, the movie industry, and every other industry. Talking about other jobs that I was doing while I was studying at university, so like normal jobs, manual jobs, also this kind of stuff. And I noticed that you're working with a movie, we are working with famous actors, kind of stuff, but in the end the sort of relationships, the dynamics, as I was saying, are kind of similar. So I can say that during that experience, I started to rethink of my position towards working with movies and all this kind of stuff. And talking with other colleagues, they told me that basically this production, this company was from Rome, and they told me that it was I mean, for me it was better to move to Rome if I wanted to like pursue this dream, because it's where like things happen, talking about cinema in Italy. But in that moment of my life, I was like studying at university. I was living with my mother and my brother in another region in the north of Italy, and I mean, my life was there. I wanted to conclude this university or this kind of stuff, and so I mean, I thought that if I ever wanted to try again with this world of cinema, you know, I could have moved to Rome, for example, like later after university, this kind of stuff. But what happened is that during the years of university, I was studying and I was starting to do things like myself, working in like a little filmmaking, like small filmmaking projects. I was working as a freelance photographer and videographer, so I was starting to get interested in photography as well, and I was starting to like find clients, to find my niche in some ways, to work with music artists also, fashion, all this kind of stuff. And yeah, after university I just understood that I mean, I appreciate and I still appreciate it's my passion, like number one, cinema and this kind of stuff, visual arts in general. But I wanted to do my things like my way, even if it's more difficult, even if it's difficult to get noticed, especially on the internet these days. There's a lot of competition. There are a lot of people who are doing this thing that I'm doing right now. So yeah, just wanted to talk about this experience that I had and the reason why I didn't move to Rome. And now I'm working, for those of you who don't know, my day-to-day job, my main job is a quality analyst. I'm a quality analyst for a company, so I work in tech, let's say like this, here in Lisbon, because I live in close to Lisbon in Portugal. On the side, I'm working on this project that I have on YouTube, on the stuff that I upload on Instagram, on TikTok as well, and all this kind of stuff that you guys know. And yeah, so just wanted to, as I said before, I just wanted to share this experience with you guys. Maybe you will find this interesting, maybe not. But yeah, I've been wanting to shoot this video for a long time, and because I think that it's interesting. It gives you another perspective on some things that we think that we know, but in the end, I mean, if you don't touch things with your own hands, it's difficult to know them. And that's it, guys, for today's video. So thank you for watching. I'm sorry if this video will be a bit longer than usual, but it's I mean, it's a whole story to tell, so it makes sense. And see you in the next video here on this channel. Bye, guys.